Good morning, everyone. Today is our third Top Recruiter workshop, and we have Prashana Naga from Seneca College. Thank you so much, Prashana Naga, for being here today with us. We really appreciate your time and taking this time with us. And thank you so much for our amazing partner all around the world. I was checking our last two attendees country list. We had more than 57 countries that our amazing partner have attended. So thank you so much for being here today. Without any ado, we're gonna jump to the presentation. Just two quick reminder. First 45 minutes of this webinar will be allocated to the presentation, and the last 15 minutes would be allocated to the Q&A. And then there is a chat function. Please ask your question. If you have any question, please let us know. And stay tuned till the end of the webinar, because as you know, we will provide you the special discount code that you would be able to use for your application and get 50% application discount on your following application. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, Prashant and Naga, thank you so much for being here. The floor is yours. Thank you so much. You're on mute, Prashant.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. And my name is Prashant Shrivastava. I'm the director for South Asia region in Seneca, and I'm with my colleague Nagasarath Pandurangi, who is the regional manager business development for South Asia. So we will start this presentation. We have a short video, Katie, which we'll start with, and then I will start with my COVID-19 update.
It is to you that the time will come. You with your compass and protractor to build bridges to the stars. You, the fixer, the technician, the helper. You with your pen mightier than the sword. You who at the precipice of change will round the corner and be ready for the finale. It is to you that an education will not be given like a gift or simply purchased like an article, for it will be too great and valuable, too ungraspable to know without hard work and relentless commitment to make a contribution. And you know this. The years will pass quickly and you will set your sights no lower than the horizon. And when the time comes, you will know that everything you do and everything you stand for, today and tomorrow, matters, because it is you who will accept the challenge.
Thank you, Katie, for playing the video. I will start my presentation in setting up the context also about international education. So as all of you are in the business of international education, you all would be aware that Canada is one of the preferred destination for international students. We have over 660,000 international students in Canada. Last few years, Canada has seen a phenomenal growth in the international student population. Our numbers in Canada, according to CBI figure, from 2010 to 2018 have grown 154%. So this is a significant increase. Canada has become a leader in international education, a preferred destination of choice for international students. Alongside this sector, the international education sector, it has contributed immensely in the Canadian society. According to the figures, it is around $22 billion, the financial contribution of international education. It supports over 170,000 jobs. So this is a context like how we are seeing, and the pathway to immigration is also linked with Canadian education. Over 34% of new immigrants in 2019, they came through the background of international student and temporary workers. So you can see the context that how it is interlinked. The education is linked to working in Canada and also to the migration in Canada. So it was going all well, and again, the international students have contributed immensely. So international student has contributed not only financially but socially, in socially through the skill development, because many of them they end up working full time, and then again through different pathways they immigrate to Canada. So it is a big contribution to Canada. It was all going well, but in starting January, we have been hit by this pandemic, which originated from Wuhan, China, in December. So as of now, more than 1.5 million people have been infected. Around 180 countries have reported these cases, and we all are victim of it. No person on this planet is immune to this. No industry is immune to it. You have seen the airline industry, you have seen how the economics have crashed, the share markets have plunged, over 100 countries have come up with travel restrictions. So we are into a very challenging time. This is what I wanted to set you up with the context that yes, it is a challenging time. As an institution, as a country, Canada has responded to it. As an institution, whatever we can do from Seneca, we have responded to it, aligning it with the strategy and with the mandates from the government. So as of last few weeks, our courses have moved into online delivery. And the latest update we have from Government of Canada is the students who will enroll into the May intake would be eligible for post-grad work permit, provided they complete 50% of their coursework online. Also, the government came up with a supportive decision that if the students have received their student visas until March 18th, they are allowed to travel to Canada. Having said that, yes, it is a challenging time for all of us, and we are in this together. And I think we will be able to fight this invisible enemy, the virus, together. So I thank you all for joining this presentation. And in the end, we will have Q&A. So now I will start with the presentation speaking about Seneca. Next slide, please, Katie. So the agenda of this session will be why Canada, because that is the foremost, why people come to Canada, why people choose to Canada, and then why Seneca, what we do, why we are unique, how we position ourselves as an education provider in a global context, study, work, and live opportunity in Canada, how our education, our experience of working is linked to living in Canada, different types of programs we offer, what services we provide to international students in normal circumstances. Right now, we are in an extraordinary circumstances, but in a normal circumstances, we provide a lot of services to international students. How to locate us, administrative process, how the whole admission process work in Seneca, how we look into the different grades, different scenarios for students to be admitted in Seneca, and then we will have a Q&A. Next slide, please. So why Canada? As I've said in the start that yes, Canada is one of the preferred destination for international student. The literacy rate in Canada is over 99%. And again, it goes with the context of the education system, that this is a strength of the education system, that we have such a high literacy rate in Canada, that people are educated, and many of them are college educated. Canada has the longest coastline, the second largest country in the world, and we have one of the largest coastline, 247, 977 kilometers. Plus, we have one of the highest highway system. So it is world-class infrastructure Canada has built. It is one of the largest highway system in the world, Trans-Canada Highway. Although in terms of population, Canada has around 33 million people. So although it is the second largest country, but in terms of population, it has less number of people, and around 80 to 90% of Canadian population, it lives across the U.S. border. So Canada has a big proximity to U.S. That is also our USP. It's a good relationship between US and Canada. We have six large cities with over 1 million people: Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, and Ottawa. As Seneca, we are based in Toronto, which is the economic engine of Canada. Around 65% of the US cities are accessible through Toronto. So it is one of the fourth largest cities in North America. So a lot of people living in Toronto is like living in as a big city in US. Next slide, please. So why you should come to a college? College is more practical. Again, when it comes to Canadian education system, there is a difference between college and a university. Most of the education system in Canada is publicly funded, which means it is funded by the government. Education as a sector is a provincial jurisdiction. We don't have a federal ministry of education in Canada. So the province of Ontario has its own ministry of education, province of BC has its own ministry of education, and the province mandates or regulates the educational institution. So in the province of Ontario, we have 24 colleges. Colleges were established in the year 1967 to offer more practical hands-on education. And since then, the colleges have evolved. And since 2001, colleges have been mandated to offer degrees also. So in colleges, we offer degrees. In universities, we offer degrees plus masters and PhDs. We don't offer master degrees and PhDs in college. We offer postgraduate certificates. We call it graduate certificate program in colleges. So they are different than a normal university master program because they are more practical, they are industry certified, and they lead to an employment in Ontario. So colleges will not offer a program which will lead to an unemployment. Plus, all the colleges in Ontario, they have a reporting mechanism with KPI indicators, knowledge performance indicators based on the employment, based on the student experience. The students they get in the college setting. So yeah, it is a faster transition between a high school and post-secondary education. We have smaller class sizes, a wide variety of practical and applied education. So in colleges, we do applied education. In universities, it becomes more research-oriented education. So the applied education is also linked to applied research. In colleges, we work with a lot of SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises for hands-on practical um, projects as well. Plus, through colleges, students can go to university, and they have a pathway from college to university. Plus, professor to professor interaction is more in college. The professor in colleges, they are more so industry experts. So many of them, they may not have PhDs, but they bring the wealth of practical industry experience in the classroom. So this is, I would say, in a nutshell, is a college in a setting of Canada and the advantage of going to college. Next slide.
Pershan, sorry that I'm jumping in. I think your mic, as you moving, it just get to your hoodie or zipper, so it creates a lot of background noise. If you
Okay.
can maybe like take the, yeah, I don't know how does it work, but as soon as that
Yeah,
you're
sure.
talking, there is. Thank you so much.
Is it better now? Maybe I will do this.
Thank you.
Thank you. So as I was talking about the faculty, we have experienced faculty, and these faculty members, they come from industry background. They bring these industry experience in the classrooms. Many of them are owners of SMEs as well. They have previous work experience of working as senior executives in multinational companies. Also, we have a reputation for academic excellence and innovations in teaching and learning. So we have centers for applied education, and they are called Department of Entrepreneurship, Department of Applied Research. So these all things contribute to the faculty experience at Seneca. Next slide. I think we have missed one slide, Katie. It was about Seneca. The second slide. Yes. So why to come to Seneca? So we spoke about college, we spoke about Canada. So why to come to Seneca? Seneca is one of the largest colleges in Canada. When we talk about numbers, it has around 30,000 full-time students, 10,000 international students from 170 countries. We have 70,000 part-time students also. And in terms of program offering, we offer a very high quality, cutting edge programs. Although there is no ranking in Canada, the education system is uniform. You can go from one college to another. You will find the uniformity in the education system. So in the Canadian system, we don't believe in the ranking. There is no official ranking by Government of Canada for colleges. However, based on the number of students and based on the size, we say that Seneca is one of the largest colleges in Canada. We have campuses in Toronto, York Region, and Peterborough. These are large campuses. We have thousands of students studying in these campuses. Um, our employment satisfaction rate based on KPI indicators is over 90%. There are 190,000 alumni of Seneca working worldwide. There are more than 500 career options. 500 career options. So we offer around 290 programs from postgraduate level to bachelor to diploma and advanced diploma level. So these are 2 years, 3 years program, then 4-year bachelor degrees, which are applied degrees. For instance, we offer a degree in data analytics, which is very unique, one of the kind in Ontario. 44 high quality industry endorsed postgraduate certificate program, which has a lot of practical component in it. And again, they are all linked to job because the mandate of the college is to provide job guidance and also provide career related programs, the programs which will have a career track in it. So all the programs are career oriented, focused programs. Thank you. So again, as we started in the presentation, how the education, the Canadian education is linked to working in Canada and also living permanently. This slide explains that if a student studies for 2 years or more, the incentive from Government of Canada, from IRCC, is they can work up to 3 years full time, and also they have a pathway to immigrate in which they can apply for their permanent residency. So this would be the most important part for international students to understand that they can study in Canada, they can contribute their experience in skill development of Canada, they can work in industries, and if they choose to live permanently, they can immigrate. Like I immigrated, like Methi immigrated. We have so many international students who have chosen this path of studying, working, and living permanently in Canada. So now I will hand over the remaining session to Naga, and he will talk about our programs and our admission process. And in the end, we will have question and answers. Naga, please.
Thank you so much, Prashant. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Prashant. I hope you are all able to hear me clearly. Thanks, Mehdi, for arranging this, and ApplyBoard team as well, who have been phenomenal to arrange all this. All the participants today, my name is Naga Sarath Pandurangi. I work for Seneca College as Regional Business Development Manager for South Asia region. So, like Prashant has mentioned, Seneca does 4 kinds of programs at 4 different levels, that is diplomas, advanced diplomas, bachelor's, and postgraduate certificates. So you can see that we have a range of programs available in diplomas and advanced diplomas. We have 70 plus programs. Diplomas are basically 2 years. We have 3 intakes, which generally start in January, May, and September. And all these programs are eligible for postgraduate work permit. A 2-year diploma program, as Prashant has mentioned, will lead you to a 3-year work permit in Canada. And an advanced diploma is again 2 to 3 years, where it's actually 3 years. It's a mistake. It's a 3-year advanced diploma. And it will again lead you to a 3-year work permit, close to 3-year work permit. The average cost of the program for each year is 14,000 to 16,000 Canadian dollars. which in annual cost comes to 14,000 to 16,000, which doesn't include the books and the other fees that comes along with the program. Moving on to our next programs, we do have, next slide please. So we also have, like I said, a 4-year bachelor degree and a 1-year postgraduate certificate. The annual cost for the postgraduate certificate is same as the diploma cost, whereas 14,000 to 16,000 Canadian dollars. A postgraduate certificate is a 1-year program, as Prashant has mentioned, and this is a cutting-edge program for those who have already done their bachelor's and want to hone their skills in the next level of their education. A postgraduate certificate is equivalent to a master's degree, but however, it is not a master's degree, it's a postgraduate certificate. Seneca also offers bachelor degrees, the 4-year bachelor degrees. We have 19 options where a postgraduate, a bachelor degree can be taken. Please note that most of the bachelor degrees and postgraduate certificates are offered only in January and September. Very few programs are offered in May at the postgraduate level and the bachelor's level. The intakes are January and September. The bachelor degree 2-year will lead to a 3-year work permit, which we say 2+ years of work permit, and a postgraduate certificate, which is for 1 year, will lead you to 1-year postgraduate work permit. The cost of the bachelor degree is a little higher than the rest of the programs, which is 16,000 to 19,000 Canadian dollars. That's because of the bachelor degree, and also the length of the program is longer duration, plus 1 year. Next slide, please. So what are the general admission requirements for these programs? For diploma, 2 years, advanced diploma, 3 years, and bachelor degree, 4 years. A student should have completed his high school diploma and a language in its original language and a certified copy of the high school diploma. Now, we also need the transcripts of the high school or high school diploma or the study, the 12th. We generally call it the 12th. So we need the transcripts and the final diploma of 12th, the degree. And also an official letter from the school indicating that the student has completed all his studies and the graduate based on a partial degree or a complete degree. Generally, we call it the course completion certificate. We should have the course completion certificate in case they're still awaiting their final degree. For the postgraduate certificates, 1 year, the university degree program, diploma, the complete certificate of the university degree, plus the transcripts of the university, wherever you have completed your bachelor's. Next slide, please. The English language proficiency requirement, Seneca accepts all the variables here mentioned, CAEL, Cambridge, which is CIE, Cambridge English exam, and IELTS, PTE, and TOEFL. So all these exams, certificates, the English language certification is accepted by Seneca, and you can see the marks required. So minimum for CAEL is 60, whereas if you see the degree programs and graduate certificate programs have higher level requirement than the certificate programs and the diploma programs. So this is available on our website. The full details, you could kind of go to Seneca website, just search for English language proficiency, and you will be able to look into English language proficiency requirements. At the same time, and in these difficult times, we are also accepting Duolingo programs. The Duolingo English language certification, the information of which will be provided to ApplyBoard, and you could connect with them to kind of find out what are the scores for Duolingo levels required for the English language proficiency for Seneca. At the same time, IELTS is also a visa requirement. So please make sure, though you have all these scores, you'll have to meet the visa requirements as well. So please make sure that you meet the requirements while you're applying for the visa, and you have the valid English language proficiency while applying for the visa, for which, again, you'll have to go to CIC website and find out the details from Immigration Canada. Next slide, please. Seneca also offers a number of pathways, starting from diplomas. Though you start in a diploma, there's always an opportunity to convert your diploma or advanced diploma into a bachelor's degree. So from 1 year certificates, generally if a student is not eligible to apply for any of the bachelor program directly, they can apply for a 1 year certificate and then transfer themselves into related bachelor degree program in the first year as a pathway. And after a 2 year diploma, they can transfer themselves into 2 year second year of honors bachelor degree. And after a 3 year advanced diploma, they can transfer themselves into a 3 year bachelor degree, third year of the bachelor degree. So this pathway is a great opportunity for students who want to study for 2 years, work for some time, and then come back to do their bachelor's degree. Many of the students we observe take this pathway after doing 2 years of a diploma. They work for some time, gain some work experience, and come back to Seneca to complete their bachelor degree. So that's a great way of one, getting a work experience in between, and also getting a bachelor degree in the course of time. A student who wants to do their 4 year bachelor degree, they can directly apply for Seneca and avail their bachelor degree. The 1 year graduate certificate is a short program, very it's a short program to give you the cutting edge postgraduate certificate after your bachelor's degree. So once you complete your 4 year bachelor degree, you can apply for 1 year postgraduate certificate. Say, for example, if you're doing a bachelor's degree in marketing management, there is also a postgraduate certificate in marketing management to enhance your skills after a bachelor degree. Next slide, please. So apart from getting a bachelor degree just from Seneca, there are also options for you to move on to other colleges or other universities where we have a tie-up and transfer your diploma credentials or credit to become a bachelor at a university. For example, Ryerson University, this is a graphic slide, so you might have to keep clicking, Katie. So for example, there's Ryerson University where there is a Ted Rogers School of Business. You can transfer yourself into Bachelor of Commerce, Business Technology Management, or choose any of the majors available at Ryerson University. You can also transfer yourself into York University. We also have tie-up with universities outside of Canada. Ryerson and York are within Canada, whereas University of Buffalo or RMU are outside of Canada. So you can also choose universities and transfer your degrees to colleges and universities outside of Canada. But again, you will have to meet the entry requirements of that particular university while transferring your credit. Moving on, next slide, please. Experiential learning opportunities. Any student that comes to Seneca has two important people to meet. One is the program advisor and second is the career advisor. The program advisor helps them to go through their day-to-day academic requirements. They help them with any of the assignments, scheduling their classes, those kind of sort of help. And the career advisor will help them build their resume and apply to co-op and also paid internship, field experience internships. So basically, when you call it an internship, it is mostly unpaid and it is just experience. But a co-op is a paid internship. Any student coming to Seneca during their summer break and winter break has the ability to apply for a co-op when he meets the criteria required, which is 2.575 CGPA out of 4. When they maintain that criteria, they can contact a career advisor who will help them build their resume and then apply for these co-op paid internships. The paid, like I said, again, these paid internships are paid the minimum pay of Ontario, fixed by the Ontario government, which is $15 per hour. And this paid internship is on top of the work permit that they get. While a student studies here, he is allowed to work 20 hours per week. And this paid internship is on top of it, and they'll get a co-op work permit required after the on top of the regular study work permit, which is 20 hours per week. So this is a paid internship that helps Seneca to place students in various organizations. And you'll see the number of organizations that work with us in the next slide. Moving on. So Seneca works with 1,000 plus partners who recruit from Seneca all the time. Seneca conducts a number of job um, uh, job-related affairs where all these all these organizations come to our institute and have their podium where the students can approach and drop their resumes whenever this job fair happens at Seneca. And all the students who are trying to apply for these jobs after dropping their resume will be given a call if they're if they're eligible for the program, and the interviews will be conducted. So this is a very fair interview recruitment process. Unlike many of the other countries where it works on placement basis, Canada doesn't work on placement basis. There is a proper job interview through which the student has to go through and then gets placed for the co-op internships, the paid internships. So as Prashant has mentioned, there are a number of services that Seneca provides when a student arrives in Canada, starting from their free airport pickup. We also have extensive orientation programs. Once a student arrives, first 2 weeks is orientation, which helps them to understand how the program goes, how to live in Canada, and all the basic stuff that they need to know before they start. We also have Seneca Student Federation, which conducts a number of activities starting from festivals of various ethnicities across the world. We celebrate Chinese New Year, we celebrate Indian festivals. We also celebrate all the festivals from across the world at Seneca Student Federation. And as Prashant has mentioned, at any point of time, there are students from 70 plus countries studying at Seneca, and that's a great environment to have these student activities so that they are culturally aware of various cultures across the world. And free off-campus housing assistance, though this free airport pickup and off-campus housing assistance is temporarily suspended due to COVID-19, but we do provide these services at the time when the student arrives within Canada. All students have a mandatory health insurance which covers various illnesses that might occur, God forbid. But also we have just also found out that our insurance covers the COVID-19 if in case any student is currently in that situation. So we have a comprehensive health insurance that covers students for most of the illnesses. We also provide free visa assistance. Seneca has a Seneca Student Services Department, which where we have registered IRCC representatives who have got the certification to provide students with the necessary information on visa. They also help them with the co-op work permit and also help them with work permit extensions or study permit extensions that student might ask for. Seneca also has Seneca Safe app where a student, if needed, can contact Seneca Emergencies Helpline 24/7. You just have to click and we'll be able to help you with whatever you need. And this helpline works 24/7 and it's an emergency helpline. Moving on. So there are a number of campuses that Seneca has, as Prashant has mentioned. This is one of our main campuses and biggest campuses in the GTA region. At any point of time has 12,500 full-time students on it. Most of the programs offered are applied science, engineering, technology, aviation, business, fire protection, and early childhood education kind of programs. It's also home to our English Language Institute for students who do not meet the IELTS criteria. We also have an English Language Institute where if you're missing the IELTS requirement by 0.5 or 1 in the IELTS, then we have an English Language Institute which can train you for that missing language requirement and put you in a program. So in this case, you will also receive a conditional offer upon completion of ELI, and then you take the professional course. We also have an on-campus residence. We'll look at it in the slides to come. All the campuses of Seneca are connected by a free campus shuttle that any student can use. We have buses running between Seneca, York, Markham, and King campuses every 15 minutes. And this is a great way for students to access any of our campuses. Though they stay closer to one of the campuses, they can also access the other campuses through this free shuttle service. Next slide, please.
Naga, just quickly gonna jump. We have a few minutes left on that, so let's wrap up our presentation and then we'll
Sure.
Great.
Seneca at York campus, this is one of the campuses at York University, and it also helps us, like I've mentioned, the transfer programs where students can do 2-year diploma with us and then jumping on to York University to complete the program. We also have some nursing programs available where the student can do 2 years nursing bachelor's, 2 years with us and 2 years with York University. This campus also has all the creative arts and technical communications and social services programs. This campus is located within York University, hence Seneca at York. Moving on. King campus, this is a campus away from GTA region, 40 minutes away from Toronto, which holds about 3,000 plus students, and most of the programs here are nursing and behavioral sciences related. This campus also has the serene environment required for these kind of programs where mental health intervention kind of programs need the serene environment. So this campus also has a lake in between. So this is very scenic in terms of view. Moving on. So this is one of the important updates that we would like to give you as Seneca International Academy. This is at Markham. So this Seneca International Academy has we have started this to only accommodate international students. Next slide, please. Where Seneca International Academy, we have identified the highest number of programs where we get highest number of international applications. Seneca on an average just get around 16,000 to 18,000 applications for each year. And we have identified the highest number of most popular programs and started this campus only to accommodate those programs and only to accommodate more international students. So at present, the capacity of Seneca International Academy is 1,000 plus. And in the next slide, you'll be able to see the number of programs that we'll be offering at this campus. So we have identified 17 programs for September 2020 and 19 overall programs for winter 2021. So all these programs have extra ability to take only international students, and Seneca International Academy is completely a Seneca initiative. And the Markham campus, earlier known as Markham campus, now has been converted to Seneca International Academy. Next slide, please. Our residents. So Seneca also provides a residence facility where we have on-campus residents available. This is a suite room kind of arrangement where they have a common kitchen and a living room with 2 bedrooms available. Students can share this with one other student, and these are quite nice facilities to be staying at. This is almost like a 3-star hotel setting that is available at Seneca.
So I jump to a few questions. Again, our amazing audience, we only gonna ask questions that they're not related to one or single students. I'm gonna try to pick up the question that they're kind of not being answered. First question is, how many years of education gap is allowed for students that they're deciding to go for their undergrad? So if I have high school, how many years of education gap can I have to go for bachelor or diploma or anything after that? Prashant, you can speak.
Would you like to take it, Prashant, or shall I? I think you're muted, Prashant.
Yeah, sorry, I was unable to figure out how to unmute. So in terms of gap, there is no set guideline for a gap, but if it is going to be looked at your relevance of education. So for example, if you have 1 or 2 year of gap and if you have some relevant education or some relevant work experience during that time, yes, you can apply. But if you have 10 or 15 years of back, then it could be really difficult. So it all depends. Basically, it would be case by case. There is no set rule that it should be just 1 year or 2 year. If it is properly documented with relevant experience, yes, you can apply, because we are a college. Student can study at any point of time and they can exit. We believe in lifelong learning process. So there is no such guideline that this much gap is not acceptable. However, it has to be relevantly means documented, and there has to be some history behind it, that what is the reason why there is a gap, or if the gap is related to the proposed field of study, then it can make sense. Thank you.
Thanks, Prashant. Follow question: how many years of backlog is acceptable?
In terms of backlog, the admissions department recommends, basically we want students with no backlogs basically. But if there are a few backlogs and there are circumstances which says that yes, it's a genuine reason, it could be a health reason or could be other reason, family reason, that student is not able to pursue his or her education, it is justifiable. But because we need students to academically succeed in Canada, we want students to excel in the education system. Plus, when they come from overseas, it is they have to put more extra effort. So we want students to come well prepared. So that's why we don't want students with a lot of gaps in their academic studies, sorry, backlogs in their academic studies. And backlogs, I think it is in the context of India, if I'm not wrong. Can I? Yeah. So again, because as a country, India has a varied education system. So the quality of education differs from one region to another. If it is a backlog from a tier 1 university, it is more understandable. It can be more, we can see that yes, there is a rigor in academic study. But if it is like tier 2 or tier 3 university, then definitely we won't be accepting backlogs from those institutions.
Thank you so much. There's a lot of question about English provisional test, which I see the goodest slide that you guys put up. So I'm not gonna ask those questions because they're very good questions. There is a, let me see, do you accept open school? There is a few questions that does Seneca accept the degrees that they're online degrees or distance learning schools or open schools like that?
Okay, so when it comes to the education system, it has to be approved by the government of that authority of that country, of that region. So it has to be an approved institution. So if it is an unapproved institution just offering online degree or a qualification, and the institution is not regulated in their home country, for sure it is not acceptable. As long as they are an acceptable institution regionally or by their government authorities, it is acceptable. The best way in those cases could be, if student they are not sure their credential will be accepted at Seneca or not, they can do a WES or any of other approved credential evaluating services they can take, and then they can get their degrees evaluated by those agencies. So yeah, it can be in that way. If they are an approved institutions in their home country, most likely yes, they will be considered.
Thank you so much. There is few question, guys, about Duolingo. Naga mentioned Duolingo it's been accepted by a lot of actually schools. However, under the countries that they're under STS, government has not announced anything that Duolingo is accepted.
Yes, so the government policy is based on the IRCC regulations and operational manuals, and based on that policy decision, they accept only IELTS as an authorized, as an approved testing for English language proficiency. Even PT is not acceptable. Even TOEFL is not acceptable. Previously TOEFL was acceptable, but now TOEFL is not acceptable. So and they feel it's because of the rigor and because of the validity. They feel IELTS has more reasons to be accepted. However, as institutions, we have made flexibility in accepting English language proficiency. Also, Meti, I would like to highlight to your recruitment partners, we do have an ELI institute at Seneca, English Language Institute. So apart from South Asian countries, if student is from Ukraine, if they are from China, if they're from any other country, from Africa, they can apply in our English Language Institute also. They can be accepted in English Language Institute, and they can take an ELI program, or if they have a certain level of ELI or they have IELTS, they meet, they are at they are at a little below. We have benchmarks to it, and they can be acceptable to ELI plus professional programs at Seneca. So for those inquiries, please send it to us, and then we will direct those to our other regional managers and other directors of the other regions who could help those recruitment partners.
Thank you so much. What is the difference between diploma and advanced diploma?
So very good question. So in Canada, as you know, like the professions are also regulated. So there is a technician, technologist. There are different levels of job profiles. Advanced diploma has more, is a 3-year program. Diploma is a 2-year program, which means advanced diploma has more academic duration, and it has more content in it than diploma. So with advanced diploma, a person can become a technologist, whereas with diploma, they can become a technician. So that is a difference in terms of career aspiration. However, many of the students, they just look into a 2-year of education and 3 years of work permit. For that, diploma becomes to be more viable option when it comes to cost effectiveness, that they would pay for 2 years and in return they are getting a 3-year work permit. But for longevity, for employment prospects, advanced diploma has really good academic content in it. Plus, both the programs with advanced diploma and diploma, students have opportunity to transfer to degrees as well. Yes.
Thank you so much, Prashant. Prashant, there you kind of talked about this. The student that right now been accepted in May intake, but they, due to the current situation, cannot come, or they don't want to study online, can they defer to September?
Yes, we are flexible in that, and we are giving students both the options. We are getting requests even for payment extension. We are flexible in that. Also, we understand due to lockdown and travel restrictions in several countries, students are with the economic situation also, students are not able to pay their tuition with the stipulated deadline. So we are giving those flexibility for students to defer and also to extend their payment window both. Yes.
That's a great thing. And there is a lot of guys question about the 3 years postgraduate work permit. So if anyone to study 2 years, they get up to 3 years postgraduate work permit. That 2 years could be combination of 2 postgraduates. So there see a lot of questions here about PGWP.
Sure. So as you know, we both are not IRCC representative. We are not immigration consultants. So we cannot provide you an accurate information. We are not authorized to do that. We can provide you based on our experience and our own understanding of Canadian immigration system. So what happens when student does one postgrad program, the duration of the program could be 8 months, but the academic duration is 1 year. So when student completes 2 postgrad, they complete 2 postgrad with the 2-year academic duration. So when they have a 2-year academic duration, in most of the cases, yes, they are getting a 3-year work permit. However, you know, IRCC decisions are very subjective. It is at the discretion of the immigration officer. So we don't want to comment on that, but the trend we have seen is most of our students, when they complete 2-year programs, 2 postgrad programs, they do get a 3-year work permit.
Thank you so much, Prashant. I appreciate it. I like the fact that I always remind everyone that we're not immigration consultants. So this is the experience, and you did it today. So thank you so much, you know, because it's a sensitive subject, right? We don't want to say something and then they say, why did you say it? So thanks for the reminder. Going to, there is like 300 question. Want to see what would be the best question. This is actually a good question. So do you still guys have available a spot for September 2020 on PGD postgraduate programs or diplomas?
So yeah, we do have seats available, but as you know, Mehdi, many of the students who are accepted for May intake, they're differing to September. That could change our seat allocation for September. Plus, the current COVID scenario also could make an impact on this. But yes, we do have openings for September intake and for January intake. Yes.
I'm gonna add one thing because again, there's a lot of specific questions about if one band 5.5
Yeah.
mark these guys. Seneca is a stands very high quality. Yes, they might seen 1 or 2 students with these different scenarios get acceptance that they're in the lower cases, but they have spent the time, write the reasons, everything. As Seneca College receive, as Naga says, thousands of applications. So they try to be choosing the students that they're mostly qualified. So if you see, for example, the students has a very lower mark, it's good if you think you can provide a reason why the student has that. But again, based on at least our experience, we put hundreds of students in Seneca. Seneca stands for quality of the students, is an amazing institution that requires the students to be academically well prepared.
Yeah. So yes, means the admission department processes the cases as in the sequence they receive it, and at times the minimum requirements which are mentioned on the website may not be sufficient for a student to qualify at a given time. So it is based on the timing also, and it is also based on the availability of the seat. Like in all kind of business, we have demand and supply. So because we had a huge demand and we have limited number of seats, that's why it became so competitive to get into Seneca. That's why it came to a point that yes, we opened Seneca International Academy, a campus dedicated to international students. So yeah, means with this changing time with COVID-19 and the impact which we and the whole sector is getting, I think there would be a sense of flexibility in the admissions also, not only in Seneca, but institutions worldwide.
Thank you so much, Prashant. That was the last question. I really appreciate both you and Naga for taking this time today with us and explaining this amazing information. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all our audience all around the world. It means a lot coming for supporting this, and I really hope that you guys learning a lot. This is the code for taking 50% application discount in ApplyBoard website. Please use this code for any application that you have in the next 2 weeks. Once again, thank you so much, everyone. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy.
Thank you, Mati. Thank you all. Have a good evening, good day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you.